What are your deals like with your artists? So a typical management deal is 20% of all income, and then there's a fixed term for X amount of years, and there's a post-term clause. How are your deals normally structured? Do you look for in perpetuity post-term rights? Do you also have any master equity? Like, is there anything different in your deals that give you and your business more security?
There's nothing like that. No, we always, from the outset, try and go for 5 years because we're big believers of it takes a year or two to really set things up and get rolling. And then once you're on a roll for that another year or two, then you don't want to give that away to anyone else. But that's not the end of the world. We've got no master equity and we've got no nothing like that for the sunset clauses or anything like that. They're pretty stock standard in that regard, and we hedge our bets on the fact that if we do a really good job and we do what we say what we're going to do, that the artist will stick around. And so far so good in that respect. But from us it is pretty stock standard, and we don't try and sell a dream either. We just really try and bring their vision to life instead of saying this is what you should do. It's more like, what do you want to do, and then it's our job to make that happen. It's not a matter of us coming in and saying this is what you have to do and no, you can't do that. It's like, we advise that you do this and you need to meet this person, or and all that sort of stuff. But it's all about, that's their career at the end of the day, and you're amplifying it and you're connecting the dots in the right way that doesn't hinder their career, or you need to keep them in brand if they're a Triple J thing, or if it's a big pop commercial thing, then that's a whole other kettle of fish. So I don't know, we need more time, but basically there's just no one size fits all kind of thing in music, and that's the beauty of it. And that's the sort of stuff we love, because there's no rule book. That's out the window. And the more we can swim against the current, or turn left when everyone else turns right. I used to always say that it just feels good. Like if everyone's doing the same thing, do something else.
Do you feel like there's an inherent risk in your business if you don't push for those sort of equity in the masters or longer post-term clauses? There's a massive movement at the moment for post-term clauses being in perpetuity. For those who don't know, post-term clauses are if an artist leaves a management business, the manager could continue to earn from all the work that they've done. If it's a 5-year deal, they can continue to get paid from all the records released within those 5 years for however long the post-term clause is. Generally speaking, they've been, in the last decade, I'd say they've been anywhere between 3 to 5 years. But now managers are now pushing for in perpetuity, which means they're getting post-term revenue for the rest of their lives. And the argument for that is that the managers did all the work, the artists will continue to get paid for the rest of their lives. The managers also need some long-term protection on their income as well, and have an asset, and they're as involved in the business as the artist. So therefore they should be as looked after long-term, even if the artist leaves the manager for, maybe the grass is greener, or maybe they think the grass is greener, or they just had a bad day or whatever. And so it gives those managers a lot more security, because at the end of the day, the manager is the most important person in the artist team. They're often the punching bag when things go wrong, and when the things go right, it's rarely the manager that gets all the credit. So that's why there's this big, post-term movement. And I think you see a lot of managers going, right, I'm not going to sign your management unless I can also sign your master, so I have some protection, and I'm just not putting my whole life at risk, for potentially you sticking around on your word. I mean, what's your view on that?
I definitely understand it and respect it. It's just not our personal view of how we've done things. We traditionally have always done relatively short-term deals for our artists in terms of labels and publishing, all that sort of stuff, as I said earlier, with full ownership. So, I can see why people do that. I understand if a manager of 10 or 20 years experience is breaking something from absolute scratch, and they've got a huge hand in that. Like I absolutely see why they would do that, but we personally don't agree with it and don't do it. And again, like back in the day, labels used to have a lot more power, and now managers and the artists have got a lot of the power. So and in turn, what comes with that is workload. So it's the A to Z that managers do now, and it is a 24/7 gig. And so I certainly see the side of what you're saying and where people are coming from for that. We just don't do it in our under our roof.
So then what's your retirement plan or exit strategy, or what is, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, 20 years from now, whatever it is for you, when you have dreams of retiring, what is that plan?
I guess stepping back in some way, like still being involved in bigger picture stuff, and ideally still, working with artists and working with people that you helped in the early days. And I realize that things come to a natural end, and for whatever reason, people go their own ways. But hopefully lots of golf and surfing, and we would have done well enough while we're actually managing those artists to warrant whatever it is or whenever it is we retire. But I mean, personally, I like the idea of always having my toes in the water in some degree, whether it's sitting on a board or being director of something, or I don't know. I don't know what I'd do if I had nothing to do. I'm obsessive compulsive, and I just have to do something. So the day that I stop doing that, I'll probably be dead, to be honest. But it's a good question, and I don't know. I just turned 36. I'm going grey already, but yeah, I probably need to start thinking about that sort of stuff more. But I'm not interested in signing artist masters or having in perpetuity clauses in contracts for sure.